Peace family, Lions Den here with another news and commentary. Yesterday, there was a woman who was trying to climb into the Statue of Liberty. It was all over the mainstream media news. They found out. They found out who that woman is. She's an immigrant activist. Her name was Therese Patricia Okumamu from the Republic of Congo. She was also a protester, as you can see on the bottom of the screen here. She was also a protester who protested against ICE, try to take immigrants back to the country. And people should understand this, that this isn't the first time. You see a lot of Hispanic immigrants being taken by ICE and put them into one of them in Texas, one of them warehouses in Texas, when they separate the parents and the children. And not one time they ain't talk about African immigrants or Haitian immigrants. So for the first time, she is the top of the story. That of course, Therese was the woman who's later identified. She was a black woman, a melanated woman, climbed into the Statue of Liberty, including other protesters who later was arrested. It was like 7 people were arrested yesterday, and Therese was the 8th one. This is a courage. She's morally courage, but however, that's dangerous. Obviously, it shows that again. This sister took courage. She don't want to be deported. She don't want to be, but also it takes immigration into a whole nother level. And I'm just scrolling the signs right here that according to the New York Post, cop says Therese Patricia Okumamu, a 44-year-old immigrant from the Democratic Republic of Congo, was the person responsible for the 4th of July protests. She lives in the St. George neighborhood of Staten Island and is currently in federal custody, according to police source. Officers from the NYPD Emergency Service Unit transported her to the federal detention center on Wednesday night following her 3-hour standoff with authorities. Her case is being handled by prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. Sources say that Okumamu told investigators that she climbed up to the feet of Lady Liberty to protest President Trump's zero tolerance policy on immigration and the separation of families at the border. Now, according to court records, she is a Congolese immigrant who once filed a complaint with the New York City Commission on Human Rights, seeking a judicial review and reversal of a determination made regarding alleged incidents of abuse that Okumamu suffered at the hands of social service agency on Staten Island where she worked. Specifically, Okumamu claimed that in 2005 she was treated in a demeaning manner by her bosses and told that she will be fired. She will be fired, complaining of discrimination. It's unclear why her complaint was tossed out. And in 2011, Okumamu made headlines after she was hit with an astounding 60 violation of illegally posting ads for her service as a personal trainer. Continue on. The Department of Sanitation slapped her with $45,000 in fines that year after she spent 5 hours one Sunday posting the flyer on a Manhattan utility pole. In 2017, she was arrested and charged with obstruction governmental administration, unlawful assembly, and trespassing during a demonstration at the Department of Labor building on Varick Street. She had alleged cover her mouth with tape and refused to respond to police demands. I'm going to stop right there. So, she is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and she is also an immigrant. And basically, but I'm saying it took courage for her to do that. However, it's dangerous. But again, we just seen time and time again how people protesting against how ICE is grabbing families and separate children from their families. So it is in her why she's doing it is to show send a message to people that this is what happened to her and others like her. And I'm going to continue reading this. This is, of course, again from the New York Post, and it says on Wednesday, Akumu told investigators that she was part of a group protester organized by Rise and Resist NYC. The activists unfurled a banner on Liberty Island less than an hour before her climb, which reads "Abolish ICE." Organizers initially tried to distancing themselves from Okumu's Statue of Liberty stunt, saying she had no connection to their cause, but later admitted that she was part of the group. See, this is why I tell everybody, especially black women out there, and I understand what she's trying to do, but sometimes if basically they try to distance themselves, you know how they act. They don't want to deal with her, and then they finally admitted that she's part of the group, which in other words, this group, I'm just going to read that. This group, Rise and Resist in NYC, really left her out to dry. And I believe we know why. So I'm going to continue on with this story because we want people to know who she is, and then this is basically go to show that Latinos or Hispanics aren't the only immigrants that sit back to their countries. There's African immigrants as well and Haitian immigrants as well. So I just want you guys to know about that. So I'm going to continue on. It says that members describe her on social media as a total badass. She's very dedicated to the resistance generally, but specifically to the issues surrounding immigration and the treatment immigrants have been receiving from ICE and custom border control. Explained Jay Walker, a Rise and Resist activist. She's been an active member for about 4 and 5 months. Now, Walker told the Post that Okumu helped plan the banner demonstration, but carried out the Statue of Liberty stunt on her own. She didn't tell any of us about this plan, he said. We were all really shocked. So in other words, according to him, she did this on her own. She climbed the Statue of Liberty on her own. Wow. Okay. But yet, they distanced themselves from her, but later admitted that she's part of the group. Okay. She didn't tell any of us about this plan, he said. We were all really shocked. Really? But y'all supposed to be together, and you supposed to defend her? But we again, we really know what this is about. We already know. The group had announced the 4th of July stunt on social media moments before carrying it out Wednesday, but made no mention to the climb. We were all really taken back, Walker said. At first, we didn't realize it was our fellow member. It wasn't until we were able to see close-up photos of her that we realized it was her. According to Walker, Rise and Resist has been working to ensure that Okumu gets legal representation now that she's in federal custody. He told the Post that she managed to make it up to the feet of the Lady Liberty all on her own without ropes or climbing gear. We came through all the security protocols that we needed to when getting onto the Liberty Island ferry. Walker said, nothing how Okumu made it through the metal detectors. I guess she just had some hidden climbing skills that none of us knew about. That's the end of the story. Let me say this, and lessons learned to black people that want to join groups like this. I understand how courageous she was. And normally not all women, especially melanated women, would ever dare to go through this or go through climbing through the Statue of Liberty like that. But when you have groups like this, and all of y'all supposed to be together, and then turns out that you basically, it turns out that they distanced themselves, they didn't want to have nothing to do with her, and then all of a sudden they figure out who she was and say, yeah, she's part of us, and it shows what kind of group they are. Now, if they're supposed to be immigrant groups, they're supposed to say, well, We all in this together. But unfortunately, it shows that when it comes to a melanated person, they really don't care about that. They want to really cover themselves. But again, like I said, I mean, I would like to. Therese Patricia Okumamu is one of the immigrants that risking her life to tell her story, to say, listen, Hispanics and Latinos aren't the only immigrants in this country. We also been I also immigrated. I also got my people is taken away from ICE and also take away from ICE as well. So you cannot just say only Hispanics. Is Africans, immigrants, and like I said, Haitian immigrants. So tell me what you think about this story. Leave me a comment. Share this story. Share this story and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my reaction channel and subscribe to my Black Johnson channel for more news and commentary. But with that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.